Caroline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary under the Trump administration, arrived at a grand gala in Washington, D.C., wearing a simple blue dress. The event was filled with Democratic donors and progressive artists, many of whom viewed her with suspicion. Among them was Elliot Grayson, a wealthy Silicon Valley entrepreneur who openly mocked her. Pointing to the luxurious Steinway piano in the room, he smirked and taunted her, suggesting she could only shout Trump slogans but couldn't possibly play a single note. The crowd erupted in laughter, their eyes gleaming with anticipation, eager to see her fail. Caroline, however, was no stranger to scrutiny and public attacks. She had faced relentless questioning as a press secretary and endured harsh criticism during her failed congressional run. But this time, the attack struck deeper. It was personal. She recalled childhood memories of playing the piano back in Atkinson, New Hampshire, long before politics consumed her life. Yet, she refused to let Grayson see her hesitation. With a steady gaze, she met his challenge. "You think I'm scared of you?" she shot back. The room quieted slightly, sensing her defiance. Grayson chuckled, raising his glass. "Talk is cheap," he sneered. "Show us what else you can do, or admit you're just a hollow act." The laughter grew louder. Caroline clenched her jaw, her grip tightening on her clutch. With calm determination, she walked toward the piano, her heels clicking against the polished floor. The crowd's snickers turned into murmurs of curiosity. She pulled out the bench and let her fingers rest lightly on the ivory keys, closing her eyes briefly. She could almost hear her old piano teacher's voice reminding her to play with heart. Taking a deep breath, she pressed the first key. The clear note cut through the room like a challenge of its own. She began playing America the Beautiful. At first, her notes were hesitant, as though testing an old skill. Some in the audience smirked. Grayson leaned against the wall, swirling his wine smugly. But then, the melody grew stronger, her hands finding their rhythm, the music swelling with confidence and power. The chatter in the room faded. A few guests, expecting to laugh, instead leaned forward in astonishment. Caroline played with an intensity that stunned the audience. She wasn't just performing a song, she was making a statement. Her fingers moved fluidly over the keys, each note resonating like a declaration of her resilience. She pushed the music to its peak, filling the vast room with sound so powerful it made glasses tremble on their tables. Her playing wasn't just for herself, it was for her hometown, for the values she believed in, for every conservative mocked by elites who assumed they were less capable. As the final notes rang out, she let the last chord linger before allowing silence to settle over the stunned crowd. Then, she turned to Grayson, her voice steady. "Your 3 minutes," she said. "Hope you enjoyed the show." A thunderous applause erupted, shaking the chandeliers. Some stood, clapping in genuine admiration. Even those who had mocked her before were now speechless. Grayson, however, stood frozen, his smirk wiped away, his grip on his wine glass tightening. He had set her up for failure, yet here she was, victorious. "I underestimated you," he finally admitted, though the words were bitter in his mouth. Caroline simply gave him an icy stare, as if to say she didn't need his approval. As the night went on, more guests approached her, praising her performance. Among them was James Whittaker, a former symphony conductor, who applauded her talent and offered to connect her with music programs. Even Amanda Carter, a conservative donor, saw an opportunity. "You should play at CPAC," she urged. Moments like this remind people that conservatives aren't just about politics. Caroline considered it. Soon, news of her performance spread. The video of her playing went viral, with MAGA supporters celebrating her triumph. Days later, an unexpected package arrived at the White House, a Steinway baby grand piano, courtesy of Elliot Grayson. Along with it, a note, "Miss Leavitt, this is my apology. Use it well." She smirked, recognizing a PR move when she saw one, but she accepted it. The piano was placed in a quiet White House room, and she played it often, rediscovering a part of herself she had almost forgotten. She didn't stop there. With Amanda Carter's help, she organized a charity event in New Hampshire to provide music lessons for conservative kids. She played at CPAC, her performance reinforcing that conservatism wasn't just about policies, it was about culture, values, and perseverance. Sitting at her piano one afternoon, she played while her son clapped along and her husband, Nicholas, watched proudly. "You make me think of home," he said. She smiled. That's the point. A year later, Caroline stood on stage at a community center in Atkinson, playing for a room filled with children and families. The Steinway, once a tool of mockery, now symbolized something greater. The video of her gala performance had amassed millions of views, but this moment, playing for the next generation, was the true victory. Music is power, she told the children. Use it to tell your stories. Her journey, from being mocked at a gala to reclaiming her passion, resonated far beyond politics. It was a testament to resilience, to refusing to be silenced, and to proving that talent and conviction could rise above ridicule. The final lesson was clear. Never let anyone define your worth. When faced with mockery, don't retreat, rise, and play your song louder than ever.